Hello, everybody. I'm gonna give the summary of this week's mastermind. So basically, we talk about two specific topics. Joaquin brought one lender that is a kind of an alternative lender. It's called Ourboro, and basically they uh, give part of the down payment to help home buyers get into homes. Sometimes that additional down payment gets them into a conventional mortgage, which will allow them to purchase bigger homes or homes over a million. They're right now in Ontario, and we're not promoting them. We'll get some training on that. But the benefit of it is that person can be able to buy a home if they have the income, but they don't have as much of the down payment. The other side of the coin is that they will take some equity when the property sells in the future. They will give back the principal that the homeowner has paid. They become kind of a partner, so you will lose on the equity part when they sells. But I think it's another option that we as mortgage brokers should have in our toolbox. The second part of the Scotia event was basically about the Scottsdale, Arizona event. I gave a little bit of a summary of what happened over there. So Scotiabank brought myself, Mortgages Lab, and the top 100 brokerages in Canada for Scotia to discuss different things. A few things became really apparent to me. First of all, really good event. Um, they are strongly supporting the broker channel. We all know that last year they went a little bit out of the market. There were some issues there, but right now they're back into the market. They're super supporting of the broker channel, and I even hear every year gossip that Scotia is going out of the channel. I don't see that. They are investing money. They wanted the feedback from the brokers to better the relationship, and we're going to talk about some of those things that we discussed. That one thing that Farah Omran, she is the economist at Scotiabank. She did a great presentation, and the good news is that it is expected, perhaps in the summer, for the Bank of Canada to drop 25 basis points on rates, which is going to help everything overall. And the expectation again is that by summer of next year there might be up to a point and a half in drop in prime rate, which is going to help the market and it's going to help affordability and help everybody. Again, there is no guarantees. Not even the economists can guarantee this. From the feedback we got from agents, one of the feedback that I gave them is to give more specials. Sometimes it's very super competitive, a 5-year term or a 3-year term, but sometimes a bank can do a 4-year term, which for a person who's going into a 5-year term, taking a 4 is very similar. And sometimes you can have a reduction of 10 bips or more, which is very good as a promotional offer. And they took that advice. Also, there was a lot of talks about the fact that brokers, and Scotia is aware of that, brokers will look after our clients really well. And Scotiabank or any lender has a lot of moving parts. So sometimes when our clients, and they become Scotia clients, go for a renewal or go for a port of a mortgage, or they just need an increase in a line of credit or something, they don't get the level of expertise and the level of service that we can give in the broker channel, which is amazing because it's a great partnership. So there was a lot of talks or suggestion to Scotia to work with a model where we as brokers can get compensation either on renewals, on reportings or something, or some sort of collaboration with the branches. At the time, the bank will take over that client and attempt to service them the best they can. But again, Scotiabank is an amazing lender. It's a great company, and they have all different levels of people, and sometimes those people are not as knowledgeable as brokers. So there was a lot of talk about that. Super important when you're submitting to Scotiabank, always write down in your notes prepayment of 20%, because the standard is 15%, but if you ask a prepayment of 20%, they will allow that with no issues. One of the reasons why Scotia is growing and is the number one lender in the broker channel, is growing so much, is because the underwriters are really good at assessing risk, and they can evaluate exceptions really well. So when you have hairs on a file that sometimes another lender will get stuck on that and will not move file forward. When you submit it to Scotia, they will make the best effort to get those exceptions. Again, I know all lenders do that, but Scotia is specifically good at doing that. And I believe they're investing a lot in the broker channel. Remember as well that there's another area that a lot of brokers are really happy, and that is that Scotia can do 5 rentals, and on exception they can go up to 10 rentals, which is very unique in the broker channel. And another thing that I learned in that event is that when you're asking an exception, um, the underwriter underwrite the file, they support that exception, and they send it to risk. And risk is another department within the banks that assess other things like cash available, like percentage of book of business. They have other areas that they have to look at, and sometimes because of those areas, those files or those exceptions are not approved. If you have the time and you submit it maybe later or ask for the exception later, because things move every week, you may get the exception. Or that is also why sometimes you get an exception with a client and you get a stronger client and you may not get the exception. Has nothing to do with you, your client, or underwriting. It has to do with the risk department. Okay, and the last part of the mastermind, we talk about how to consume, or what would be good sources of economic news affecting borrowers. So Deb suggested to follow Rob McAllister. Marco likes MLN. I suggested Mortgage Logic News, but it's again Rob McAllister. Deb also suggested the Mortgage Guide with First National. Clarence said that he really likes the summaries that Bruno Falco from RNG. He says he's very sharp. There were talks to follow people who are very vocal in the industry, like Dan Eisner or Ron Butler. Anyways, and we're gonna have the next mastermind. We're gonna talk about economic news that we all the brokers that participate in that are gonna bring to the next mastermind. All the best, and see you Monday. Take care.